Hello beautiful creatures, welcome back to Of Crafts and Curios. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much to my Gemini babies who have been patiently awaiting this installment of my Zodiac series here on the channel. I had hoped to get this out earlier in Gemini season, but I really wanted to use a Peri pearl body for this doll, and it took some time to source one. Hopefully she will be well worth the wait, and also a special thank you to all of the people who aren't in New Zealand who jumped in my DMs to offer to help me source one of these dolls. You're all so kind and wonderful, and I feel so blessed to have such incredible people frequent my little corner of the internet. And hey, if you're new here, why don't you mosey on over to that subscribe button? I might conjure up your zodiac sign next, or you might find something else you enjoy watching. So to begin with, I'm taking my two-headed Peri pearl body, and I'm going to be giving her some legs. I thought about keeping her tail, but as Gemini is an air sign, not a water sign, the tail seemed a little wasted on this character, so I'm going to be cutting her in half and splicing her with an ever after high body using some Milliput. Despite Gemini often gathering a bad rap in those internet rate your astrology sign op-eds, there is a lot of really cool imagery and energy surrounding the Gemini. In ancient astronomy, the constellation that makes up the Great Twins was originally named after titles given to the Babylonian god of plague and pestilence who ruled over the underworld. Personally, I love this image, a set of twins to meet you at the gates of the underworld, and this is kind of where my inspiration for this doll's character stems from. In modern astrology, Gemini is the first of 3 air signs and the first mutable sign of the wheel, meaning Geminis are known to be flexible, resourceful, and adaptable. This is really funny to me because my partner is a Gemini and he is unwaveringly stubborn, and that's coming from a Taurus, so you know it's going to be pretty intense. Gemini, like Aries, is considered to be one of the 6 masculine or 6 positive signs of the wheel. When thinking about describing a classic Gemini, I think curious and communicative. Geminis love talking, sharing ideas, and learning. They are big social butterflies, which I am so grateful for, as my partner will often do all the talking when we are at a social event, and I can just quietly chill by the food like the humble Taurus that I am. The image of the twins also lends itself to the dual nature of Gemini. Some of the critiques that Gemini often faces is their changeability or restlessness can often lead them to being dual-natured. They'll tell you one thing and then turn around and do something else. Because of this, the twins can often get the rap of being two-faced. This duality is a key concept of understanding the Gemini, however, and the yin and yang concept is a useful way to understand this aspect of Geminis. Nothing is ever entirely one thing. In all good, there is a little bad, and in all bad, there is a little good, and so forth. It can be helpful to view Geminis in your life this way. All the aspects of a Gemini are interdependent rather than in opposition. The twins stand as part of one another rather than apart from each other. Often the things I love most about my Gemini partner are also the things that get on my nerves the most, which really highlights the Gemini's strength and weaknesses are 2 faces of the same coin. As for the color palette of this doll, however, though, I'm going to be leaning into the quicksilver and gray tones associated with Gemini rather than the blues and often yellow associated with Gemini. Gemini is ruled over by the planet Mercury, and when I think of Mercury, I often think of the element Mercury, which is like found in a thermometer, that steely silver color. So that's what I'm really got at the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking about the color palette. Gemini is also the ruler of the arms, hands, and nervous system, so I'll be sure to add my Gemini symbols somewhere along my doll's arms. So with keeping all of that at the forefront of my mind, I'm going to begin prepping my faces. As you've seen, I've gone ahead and prepped the body, gone and given it a paint over of a sort of lighter tone flesh color just to even out the base and disguise the Milliput. And I'm just going to be sure to color match the heads so that it's all seamless. And now we're entering the mistake phase of this project. I went ahead and attached both heads back onto the body to begin their face-ups in here. I really should not have done this. I should have left them separately, as it did create quite a lot of difficulty for me to do the face-up and attach the hair. I think it would have been a much better idea if I had done those separately off the body and then reattach the heads afterwards, but I made it work. I made do. I tried my best, and there were definitely some angles that were harder than others, but I got there in the end. So if you are going to be using a Peri pearl body, leave those heads off before starting your face up. Just attach the head last. As for what I want this face up to look like, I really want these dolls to look airy and aloof and sort of distant. I want them looking away, and again channeling that energy of these twins are meeting you at the gate of the afterlife. I'm also going to be channeling some of that yin and yang imagery into this concept. So I am giving one doll black eyebrows and the other one bleached eyebrows, and I'm going to be incorporating both a bleach blonde, white, and a black into their hair. To assure that these dolls fit in with my other Zodiac dolls so far, I'm going to be using yarn to create hair wefts and do their hair. I'm going to be giving them kind of an 80s shag haircut, popularized I think by Debbie Harry. I know Miley Cyrus did this hair look too recently, but with a blonde top and dark under fringe, and then on the reverse a dark top and a blonde under fringe. So we'll hopefully see that I can pull it off. Again, this also calls back to that yin and yang concept related to the Gemini, a little bit of white in the black, a little bit of black in the white, and so forth. Once I had created my yarn wefts, I was just going ahead and I'm going to be just gluing them on the back of my doll's head. And I'm going to start with the inverse color on the back of the wrong doll, and then same on the other side, and then layer their intentional hair color, if that makes sense. You'll see, you'll see. So with all the hair attached, this is what they're looking like. A very cousin it from the Addams Family, which is a vibe, but it's not the vibe I'm going for. So I'm going to be cutting this into that 80s shag haircut, which is kind of like a mullet, just more feminine maybe. So I'm making sure that I've left some longer bits before I just hack off a fringe, and I'm going to texturize it so that you can see those black bits sticking out from under the white and the white bits sticking out from under the black. I find it really helpful when doing a layered choppy look like this with yarn hair to use a lot of water to help smooth down and set the yarn fibers, preferably warm water, but cold water works too, and that helps it hold its shape. So here is both dolls here finished and set. I'm absolutely obsessed with the doll at this point. I think it is such a cool look, and I do like the inverse nature, having the black with the white with the black. So I think it looks really cool, and I can move on to my clothing. Extremely happy with how the hair turned out. As I said earlier, I'm going to be focusing on those silvers. I did pick up a yellow, but I'm not really going to use the yellow. I think the silvery blues and silvery warm tones as well are much more effective for the concept I'm going for with my Gemini dolls. Lately, I've been feeling kind of off with using and making patterns. I really actually preferred going instinctually with my doll clothes at the moment and just basically cutting random shapes and hoping it works out. So that's kind of what I've gone to do with this outfit. I'm going with a kind of halter top, one shoulder moment with this very strange triangular shape, and then I cut a bunch of strips of fabric to create a very flouncy skirt that could move with the wind and the air to inspire that element of air associated with the Gemini. With everything secured in place, it's just time to attach the skirt to the top using some ribbon again to create that triangular shape, and the dress is complete. Now moving on to adding my symbol to the part that the Gemini rules over, the hands, the arms, and the nervous system. I'm going to be using the hands, and I'm taking the opportunity to include another duality tenet, which is quite common within pagan and Wiccan faiths, that is such above, so below. This is a great duality concept, and it also applies really, really well to astrology, as what is happening in the sky above is said to rule over or affect those of us down here on Earth. So I wanted to include that on my Gemini's hands and include the Gemini symbol. Although I envisioned this dress being a halter, I did end up with that one shoulder moment because it did fit better. as I didn't really use a pattern, so it was definitely a better option for fit, and I did go ahead and decorate those arms some more, again to draw back to Gemini's relationship to the hands and the arms. I'm going to be putting on some little arm cuffs and some ribbons just to really emphasize that connection. And now going ahead and attaching those hands with their as above so below symbol and their symbol for the Gemini. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's a great addition to the Gemini imagery, as well as that callback to the ancient myth of Gemini being associated with the underworld. And here she is in her completed glory, with her outfit and her hair and her hands and everything all done. I am so happy with how this Gemini doll turned out. I don't know if I should refer to it as a doll or two dolls or what the sitch is, but I'm so happy with the twins. I love their flouncy, airy dress. I love how the hair turned out. It's so fun and I think just so cool and different than what I usually do on my doll hair. I really hope I did all those Gemini babies out there proud. There are so many of you, so I really hope you guys enjoyed the Gemini. Here she is with the other astrology dolls so far. We've got Aries, Taurus, and Gemini done, and I think they look so great together. I think they all really read as if they come from the same universe or same world, and I'm just having so much fun doing this series. So if you are too, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and if you're new here, hit the subscribe button so that you can see your zodiac sign. And as always, I'll be back here so soon with more crafts and more curios.